speaking with each of the congressional candidates, and at the very least making attempts to speak with each of them. We expected to have Assemblywoman Claudia Tenney on this week. We were told by her that we would, but when we reached out to her yesterday, we were told that she was already booked up.
And
she's
Wednesday,
not been on the program. She's
Tuesday.
publicly stated that she will not come on the show. But then when we ask her about it, so I have an interview with her saying she won't come on the program. And then when we ask her about it, she says she never said that. But then when we ask her to come on, she won't come on. We continue to ask every single day. I will tell you that when we speak to Kim Myers, she comes on the program. When we speak to Martin Babinec, he comes on the program. Officially, Ms. Tenney has 7 days to request her equal time. After that, she has missed the slot. And that's how it works. I'll continue to have these two other congressional candidates on every week until the election. And we hope that Assemblywoman Tenney will choose to join the forum. Here now is Martin Babinec, who is running and on his own party line as well as the Reform Party line, a third-party candidate that is well into the mix, which is something we've really never seen before. Good morning, Martin Babinec.
Good morning, Bill. Thanks for having me.
All right. So before you get into the congressional stuff, let's just talk a little New York State here. You've been in the position of power. You've been in the position where you've made a lot of money, and you've been around powerful and wealthy people. What is it with humans that we get some money, we get some power, and some people just can't handle it? They go off the deep end.
If you're referring to what's happened here with the indictments that were announced yesterday,
yes,
you're going. So it is shameful. It really is, and especially when we realize that these are tax dollars that are at use here. We're all paying for this, and to have individuals that I'm sure were well-intentioned as they got into these roles to use their powers in their positions where they're representing the best interest of us as voters is just shameful. There's just no other word for it. I'm embarrassed for our state, and certainly as a taxpayer, I'm outraged.
And you know, you see it, right? I mean, you've seen it. What about what to be said for the people you surround yourself with? I mean, have you been in that position in business where, you know, there's a character and you're kind of worried about this person, this man or woman? Do you keep them around you? Do you keep them in your circle, or do you remove them?
There's no question that anyone who is at the top of an organization, their number one priority is to make sure they've got the right people around them that are not just competent, but especially when it comes to public office, they have to have the highest standards of integrity. And when you have a leader that does have not one, but several individuals around him or her, it does call a lot of questions into play. So there is no question. Unlike in my own company, where I've had to make a lot of tough calls over the years with the people around me, but everyone knew where I stood from day one with regards to where integrity played in all the decisions that we had to make in our company. And yes, leaders are the ones that are held accountable. At this point, the indictments that were announced yesterday did not have anything that disclosed there was impropriety on the governor's part. That was made very clear. But I think the observation that you're making, Bill, is correct, that the leader is responsible for who's on the team, and that's one of the most important decisions that leaders have to make.
Okay, we have about 4 minutes here, and this whole thing, Nano, is about creating jobs, and it's something that you've built your campaign on. So how do you create jobs, whether it's with nanotechnology, or how do we turn this around here? Because those high-paying jobs for people in this area, to bring people here, to allow people to stay here, that's the game changer. And how do we make it happen?
All right, a couple things. First, as I've said from the beginning, when it comes to jobs in these newer industries like nano, that is a good thing, not only because they're high-paying jobs, but jobs in these industries which are creating products based on innovation and are being sold to a non-local customer base. Those kind of jobs, in turn, create a lot of other jobs in the local community outside of the actual production of these products or services. So it has a tremendous impact. That being said, my objection to nano from the beginning has always been the amount of money that we're putting into it and the fact that we're relying on corporate welfare where we take our tax dollars and give it to very big corporations. And this idea of business attraction being the way to create jobs is something fundamentally that I disagree with.
Yeah.
I am much more in line, and what my jobs plan is about is recognizing we've got the talent and the resources, all the right ingredients for our being able to help more people start companies, including in these newer industries that have that job multiplier effect that nano would have. We got all the ingredients, but we've not done a good job of having the environment to keep the talent that we have, who have the capability to create these companies, to stay here and do so. They move away and create the company someplace else. That's what my jobs plan is about. That's what my experience has been these last 6 years with my work with my nonprofit, Upstate Venture Connect, where I've concentrated on identifying who these people are that are creating companies and finding the right ways to connect those entrepreneurs with the resources they need so they can create the companies and jobs here instead of moving away and doing it someplace else.
All right, Assemblywoman has as a congressional candidate, has a website out about you. It puts you in this weird-looking caricature, cartoon-type figure. I'm sure you've seen it. And it really ties you to Cuomo, saying that it's a pay-to-play deal. How do you respond to the charge that she's made several times, but now she's put it in the form of a website?
Well, when it comes to things like I've made donations to candidates, I would kind of point out that, well, I've made donations to candidates both parties. It's like I have been an independent my entire voting life. I have always opted to choose a candidate over a party, so I'm kind of like not bound with ideology, unlike my opponent. And I really have concentrated on trying to support those that I believe were getting things done.
Right.
I'd also kind of point out that, I haven't been accused of providing money to the Republican side, at least by my Republican opponent. And, I've been active in terms of being an advocate for changing policies.
Right. I do have to tell you, we're up against the clock, but Martin Babinec is running for Congress. He's one of 3 candidates, and, of course, that election is coming up on November 8th. As always, Martin, it's been a pleasure. Thanks so much.